Hey guys, Scarlett Darkwood here. Hope everyone's had a great week. I want to share my experience with working on a psychic hotline. And hang in here with me because I'm going to go through what happened, why I made the decision I did, and then just give some other advice along the way. You can take it for what it's worth, and please understand that I'm sharing this based on my personal experience, my decisions, and it doesn't reflect the industry as a whole. I mean, if I had something against the industry, I wouldn't have done it to start with. But I thought it would be a good way to just kind of, keep up the skills, do tarot readings for people, and maybe help some people along the way. You never know why somebody's calling or what they're wanting, but you're hoping that with your conversation you can help them. So, from the beginning, number one, I already had a video done on this. I had all my stuff, had it all recorded, and I had my spouse and my teacher who certified me both look at the video and said, you may need to go back to the drawing board because you're leaving out some other elements. I won't bore you with the details. Needless to say, here I am again, so I'm going to give this another shot, and I'm thinking that you'll find this one more beneficial. So here's the deal. I wanted to join a psychic hotline. I found a company I wanted, and they responded immediately. I did a test reading, and it was to their satisfaction. I got a login, and I jumped on. So, I have to say, unfortunately, I don't think I hit the ground running on this one. I got a few little tips before I started, like do XYZ and hopefully that'll go well for you. Well, I tried to do XYZ and it didn't go so great. And here's the thing. I'm not a bad card reader. I just may not be suitable for a psychic hotline. Because when these people call, they're wanting fast, they're wanting quick, and no holds barred, just give it to them straight and fast. And the first call was a 20-minute prepaid call. I did the reading. It was very positive, which that's what the card showed. I wasn't making anything up. And next thing I know, halfway through, about 10 to 13 minutes into the call, she either hangs up or we get disconnected. I don't know which. But this person paid for a 20-minute call and got about 10 to 13 minutes of it. So I don't know if she got her answer and she was fine with it and whatever, or if there was a bad signal or something and the call dropped. Anyway, she rates me on it, and considering she didn't get a full reading, it was fine. It was a 3-star rating, which, people don't like the optics of it, but sometimes 3 stars doesn't mean that the caller or the reviewer thought you were bad. They just, it was okay. They liked it, whatever. But the optics doesn't look good. That's not the only thing. The second call, the lady wanted answers. She wanted to know when something was going to happen, when, and before I could get the answer out, she hung up, and I get a 2-star rating. If I had gotten a third call that was anything less than a 3, I would have been rated very low. And it makes me look like I can't read cards. And that's totally not true. I have been reading cards for over 30 years, off and on, not regularly every day. But I started learning tarot when I was in my mid-20s. I'm not in my mid-20s anymore. But I have read for lots of people. I read it 4 hours at a convention one time, and I know the reactions I get. But for some crazy, fluky reason, this just didn't go well. And I don't know how simple it can be, when you say, okay, I understand you can't do spreads, you got to pull cards, you got to read it fast. I did it to the best of my ability, and something still went wonky. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was just a stroke of bad luck for me. Maybe it was just 2 persnickety callers back to back. I don't know. I don't know what the reason was. And, and the readings weren't necessarily bad information. So I thought, this just doesn't feel right in my gut. I'm not going to stick with it because I just don't think, I don't think I want to do that because I'm on a fine line here. I had better hopes that this would go a lot better. You're going to get some bad, you're going to get some review. And when I signed up for this company, the staff member told me, just a word of warning, if you say things they don't like, or if they don't like your reading for whatever reason, they're going to rate you bad. So just keep that in mind. So I kept that in mind. And sure enough, it happened twice out of the gate. And I'm thinking, I don't know if there's something wrong with me or what it is. But I thought maybe this is not an avenue I need to pursue. First of all, I felt rushed. I felt very rushed. I felt like, that I had to really be tactful in what I was saying. And of course you have to anyway. If you're doing readings, if you've got any kind of information, you always want to keep it as tactful as you can. But I just felt very rushed in trying to spit out answers. And, they were very demanding. They weren't very nice. They weren't willing to ask questions or, follow up with anything. I mean, it was just hardcore demanding. And I thought, okay, that's not an experience I want. It's not an environment I want. This probably isn't for me. So that's the one thing. So I decided to just stop it. And it really confirmed to me that I want to do card readings for people in a more relaxed setting. I would really prefer a block of time. I do have a quick fire read on my website. If you look at scarlettdarkwood.com, you can get a reading for, it's the lowest amount of the reading and it's a shorter amount of time. It's a 3-card spread. I'll pull more cards. Don't worry about that. But, I mean, it is quick. And I don't sit there and take my time when reading them. I don't just go, let me think a minute. I don't do that. But for whatever reason, when you do these chat lines, it appeared to me that you either have to spit out something or you have to spin something to make people happy and coming back. That's what it appeared to me. Now, I'm here to tell you, there are card readers in this industry who say they just read the cards like they are. They don't sugarcoat anything. They say what it is and they move on. And some of them are going to get good ratings, some of them are going to get bad ratings. I still think with any industry, this is just my personal belief, anybody can think what they want to, that's fine. I still think you have to know how to work in that industry. If I'm in one profession, I've got to know how to deal with clients in that manner. I've been in a job before where when we were trying to get in to see people, you had to know how to phrase your reason for coming to see them or they wouldn't let you. But again, it was like you have to know your approach to get in to see the client. So apparently, psychic hotlines for me are not something that I'm ready to do right now. And it may, whether I'll do them again in the future, I don't know. I do not know. And I know I made a decision very quickly after 2 calls, and you're thinking, why didn't you give it a shot? Just something in my gut didn't feel right with it. I will say this. I watched one card reader on the internet talk about her experience, and she was trying to share it with others, and she said, there are times when other card readers control you. They can call you, harass you, give you bad ratings, try to sabotage you. I don't know that that was the case with me. Maybe it was. I don't know. I will never know. But it's funny that I thought about that shortly afterward. Does this company test its psychics for some reason once they're in there just to see if they've got what it takes to stay in? Or, how does that work? And then I hear this lady say, oh, here's what can happen. I don't know if that happened or not. And there will be other card readers who will say, you can't go troll your fellow card readers because if the company finds out you're doing that, they will fire you. Okay, got it. But I mean, the company would have to be aware of it. Either the psychic complains that they think something weird's going on, or they would have to do regular phone audits to see who's calling who. And you can pull phone records. I mean, these companies and other companies are set up to review records. So anyway, that being said, if you're wanting to do a psychic hotline, keep in mind that you may have good luck with it out of the gate. You may not have good luck with it out of the gate. I would probably recommend that you get with someone, practice. I know that sounds silly. If you're a card reader, you're saying, well, I can read cards. I don't need to practice. I would just get with somebody and just kind of go through a few test readings just to try to make sure you have it. After that, you're really kind of on your own. And that's the way it is. Unfortunately, I didn't have good luck with it, and I wasn't going to pursue it. I wasn't going to hang in there, and I made a snap decision, and I turned tail and run. I mean, I just didn't feel in my gut that I needed to continue, that I do better in a different setting, in a different environment. So that's me. But I'm not saying that all these card readers are trying to scam you. They're not trying to take advantage of you. Some of them have worked for more than one line. They've worked at it for years. Some of them have probably helped people. You know, unfortunately, I didn't have that experience. And I know it was quick. But I just wanted to share that, you know, keep in mind, these are some things that can happen. Also, if you're overseas, the reception may not be as good. You may not be able to hear as well. You may be missing part of what they say. And that can kind of impede the conversation. And I think that also contributed to some of the problem. I didn't try to go around going, huh, I can't hear you. I did try to parrot back, you know, what I thought I understood them to say. It just didn't fly. The other thing too is, and I don't go around thinking that, oh, somebody doesn't like me because of XYZ, but I will say this because somebody did bring it up. And that is, if it's not American based, some of these foreign companies don't like Americans. And so they're already with a prejudice if they hear you that you're not one of them, so to speak. I don't know if that was the case with me. I think it's a worthy consideration. I wouldn't, you know, dwell on it, but it's always a possibility. I don't know. But there's that. So if you do one of these hotlines, just, you know, you're taking your chance. You might, if you're from the United States, you might want to try an American-based one to see how it goes. I don't know. I would think, you know, you could read for all kinds of people, but there's all kinds of strange situations too. But that's some other advice. You know, just try to find out more about it. See if you can get a little training or practice in to see about your delivery, and really just gauge, are you ready for it? Are you ready to sit there and just spit out answers and just go and look at the cards instantly and spit things out? I don't do that very well. I'm not slow by any means, but I just don't think that is my method or my approach. The other thing too to consider as a psychic hotline reader, if you're wanting to take a more spiritual coaching approach, or if you're wanting to get into more exploring, a lot of these customers don't want to explore. They just want to get an answer to a question and they're done. They don't care about it, you know, doing any kind of spirit coaching, though you can offer that. That would probably be more for a talky client who really does have some interest in that. A lot of these, they just want a quick answer and move on. And you'll just have to be prepared to read what you see and go from there and hope it all turns out. You know, maybe you can ask them more questions, you know, about something to maybe see if you can find out if there's more cards you need to pull to explore something else. The first call I had, the lady was pretty willing to do that a little bit. And basically, that call was cut short. If you're a customer, a psychic hotline might be all you have. If you live in a rural area, if you don't have access to a lot of people, you can call someone day or night 24/7 and ask a question and get an answer. So that might be good for customers. For customers who just want a quick answer, that might be a good way to do it. So it does serve a purpose that way. I will say, if you don't want to call a psychic hotline, get on the internet and find another reader. I mean, we all have websites, we all have numbers. We usually do phone readings, email readings, Zoom, Skype readings. So you don't have to call a hotline. You can get another psychic. So that would be just some of the suggestions I would say. So these are some of my experiences. I just wanted to share them. I hope they're helpful. And if you're thinking about doing a hotline, if you're a card reader out there, just try to see if you're ready for it and maybe kind of run through it with somebody and really get some good tips and feedback before you try it. If you're a customer, have at it, call away. If you want to find another reader that's not on a hotline, there's a ton of people out there. Do an internet search and call one. Or if you're on social media, ask somebody if they know someone. And so you can get a reading done. For me, I like doing spiritual coaching, exploration. I like things that are a little bit slower paced. I like to be able to tune into you and take time to do that. I like to do the psychic healing and take that time. You can't do that on a hotline, but you can do it in another type of session or a private reading. And I like good blocks of time that allows time to converse and to really talk things through. And that's just me. That's just my style. It's not for everyone, but it's something that I prefer doing. So I don't know. Maybe the universe was trying to tell me something. Maybe the universe was trying to steer me in the direction I needed to go. But I hope you find this helpful. Tell me in the comments what you think. If you have any helpful advice, if you have any feedback or anything, I'd love to hear it. If you want to book a reading with me and talk about, love, career, anything that's on your mind, I am available for business. And I do have a website, scarlettdarkwood.com. Give me a message and let's set up a time and do a card reading. Thank you, and hope everyone has a great week, and hope you manifest everything you want.